UFC 298 is coming up. Here's who I'm rooting for, and here's my picks. Now, the only fight on the prelims that I'm familiar with is Lemos versus Dern, female fight. In this fight, I would have to go with Lemos because I feel she's a superior striker, and although Mackenzie Dern has been saying, hey, she's working on her striking and she wants to show that she's a complete fighter, I feel she still has holes in her game as a striker. Now, once she hits the ground, of course, that's her world. But she did get stopped her last fight by Jessica Andrade, and on the other side, Lemos lost to Zhang Weili. No shame in that, but I give the edge to Lemos in this matchup versus Dern. Now, on the main card, I admit I'm not familiar with the first bout. I don't know either fighter. The second one, it's Ian Gary versus Jeff Neal. Again, I'm not that familiar with either fighter in this matchup, but I think Ian Gary's coming off a win, whereas Jeff Neal's coming off a loss. So, and the hype machine has been behind Ian Gary, so we might want to give the betting edge to Ian Gary. That doesn't mean Jeff Neal can't do some damage, but it looks like this is sort of set up for Ian Gary to get a W. Now, the fight, Merab versus Henry Cejudo. I'm definitely going to root for Merab, not only because he's from New York or he trains out of New York, but I'm not clear that Henry Cejudo's mental state, I'm not sure where he's at because he just switched head coaches for this training camp. He let go his former head coach, Albarracin, I think that's how you say his name, the guy with the weird glasses, and it looks like he brought in his brother. I'm not sure if he's making his brother his head coach, because it kind of looked like Henry himself was being his own head coach and setting up his own training plan, a weekly schedule. Now, Henry Cejudo has been coaching other fighters, so and we've heard good things about him as a coach, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can coach yourself, because you need a coach to point out your blind spots. So even though you believe in yourself as a coach, you still have to be willing to hand over the reins to somebody else for a fight camp, and certainly in live time on the mat. So, question is Henry Cejudo still coachable? Was his fight team and his fight plan effective for the training camp? Is he going to listen in the corner? But just on a personal level, yeah, I'll kind of sort of always cheer against Cejudo just because I'm not into his cringe. But I also feel in this case that Merab has a stronger mindset than Henry in this particular instance, mainly because Henry's mindset is a little bit questionable. I think Merab definitely has a work ethic. He's going to come in great condition, and he's got a good skill set both standing and on the ground. Then next fight, Paulo Costa versus Robert Whittaker. I'm going to cheer for Robert just because I'm a fan, but I'm not so sure if he hasn't taken too much damage and just a little bit too much wear and tear, both mentally and physically. So as a betting favorite, I would bet on Paulo Costa for this one. And finally, the main event, I'm definitely going to cheer for Volk, big Alexander Volkanovski fan, and appreciate everything he's contributed to MMA. I feel he's strong standing and on the ground, incredible mindset. I mean, if you recall his fight versus Brian Ortega, where it looked like Ortega almost had him out of there, and he somehow managed to just escape from on the ground. Incredible presence of mind, absolute warrior, and I'm sure he's responsible and did everything he's supposed to do during the training camp. But again, same question as I have with Robert Whittaker. Has he just taken a little too much damage, getting KO'd, and just a little too much mental and physical wear and tear over time? Only Volk knows for sure. So I'm definitely rooting for him. I also, in a sense, feel like Volkanovski has a stronger mindset than Ilia Topuria. I would give Topuria probably the edge physically, just being, I hate to go with the cliche, but being the younger fighter. But what Topuria shows me on camera, at least, is that he may or may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer. I don't know. I mean, just yelling "shut up, shut up, shut up" at the press conference is not the most brilliant comeback for trying to, give a retort to to either the media guy or to your opponent. That's kind of like middle school level brains. And also with Ilya, he brought his girlfriend along for this fight, and it's like they're sort of making a showcase of their romance a little bit, and that's like, okay, so are your eyes on the prize? Are you putting her out there as eye candy, or, I mean, that's a little bit questionable for me in terms of, where is his mind at? And finally with Ilya, like the whole shenanigans with grabbing the bell and all of that, it's a little bit like, you might be jinxing yourself. I don't know. Again, it's probably just show for the camera, but doesn't really strike me as being strong mindset. So I give the physical edge to Topuria, but I give the mental edge by far to Volkanovski. So cheering for Volkanovski, Whittaker, Merab, and Amanda Lemos this weekend. Who are you picking to win at UFC 298? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.